Good morning. I hope everyone is having a good Sunday. I decided to come on because I'm so angry, or better yet, frustrated. Um, Recently, we have been so bombarded with gossip, and we love gossip. I mean, my God, we love it. I mean, the Cat Williams stuff, we couldn't stop talking about it. When something happens to one of the celebrities, we're just in on it. And I saw the documentary with Wendy Williams, and we were into that too. She's getting back calm and all of this stuff and all of that. That doesn't really matter. So my heart hurts for her, and I pray that God sends someone in her life to help her, a good doctor, and that she gets well. That's my prayer. But what is disturbing is that we don't see the background to the foreground. Why aren't we frustrated and upset and disturbed about Wells Fargo? So I'm doing this video because I'm really asking for some help. I want someone to come on and please help me understand. Help me understand how a bank freezes your account and then petitions to court for a guardianship or conservatorship, whatever, to come in and take over your finances. This is something we should be outraged about. Now, I know it's in New York, so I don't understand the law in New York, but evidently the New Yorkers okay with it. But I'm suggesting that you look in your community and check around and see what the laws is regarding your community. Because speaking as a person who has had their bank account frozen, when they freeze it, there isn't anything you can do. There is nothing you can do. Now, when they froze my account years and years ago, they eventually released it after they'd done their investigation. They released it. But the issue is this: why do we give banks so much authority? If I work all my life for my money, if anyone is going to misuse it and abuse it, let it be my family. Because what I'm hearing is that the Wells Fargo Bank froze her account. Then after they froze her account, they petitioned the court to appoint a guardianship or conservatorship. I have problems with that. Because number one, how is the conservatorship or the person handling the finances, Wendy Williams' finances, how are they connected with Wells Fargo? Is it a cousin, brother, uncle, a best friend, or someone they got a business with? So now they're making money because they're getting paid based off of the portfolio. My education is they get paid based off how many assets or how much work they have to do, a time that's required to monitor your funds and to pay your monthly bills. They get paid based off that. So whereas a person may not have much money, the conservatorship or the guardian is not getting paid as much as it would if you have millions. I'm suggesting you check with your community to see how things stand in your community. Because from where I sit, if this can happen to her, it can happen to us. And my question is this: we get upset about stuff that don't matter. I mean, all this stuff with the jokes and somebody stealing someone's jokes and Cat Williams, then we jump over here to somebody else that got some good gossip and a blogger. I don't care. If a comedian never tell another joke, it doesn't affect my life. If an entertainer never make another song, it doesn't affect my life. But if the bank freezes my accounts and appoints someone they know as the guardianship over my account, then where do I stand? So I think it's time for us to stop giving so much power to these banks. Just think about this. When you put your money in a bank, it's not sitting there. Do you think they're just sitting there? These people are educated in money. It's not just sitting there. They are loaning your money out and making money off of your money. They're making investments off of your money. And Lord forbid you bounce a check, or Lord forbid you do an overdraft. They're going to get that money too. So my mind keep flashing back to 2008 when all these banks were fighting for these homes and taking people homes and all of this. These banks have gotten into a position that I just don't understand. So I'm asking someone who's educated in finance, who got it going on, who financial advisors, or someone to come get on, create a podcast, put it below, do something, and let me know how Wells Fargo did this. Because if you just have a couple of $100s in the bank, it might not matter. But if you're trying to create some type of generational wealth, and you've got your financial advisor, and you got these people telling you where to put the money and what to do with it, and you're trusting them and you're listening to them and you're doing that, you need to know where you're putting your money. Can they freeze your account? Or can they cut out your family members who you have appointed to help you or who you want to help you? Because any one of us can become incapacitated tomorrow. We could have a car accident. Lord forbid, we could have a stroke. And then you mean to tell me that the bank got the right to start going to the court to make a decision to what to do with my money that we've worked hard for? Just think about it. You go in the bank a couple of times and you look a little doofus, or you act like you don't know what's going on. The next thing they'll say, they got to be comfortable. You don't have to be comfortable with my money. You got to be comfortable. Now, since the bank is uncomfortable about the way you're presenting yourself when you come into the bank, that they can turn around and start making decisions to affect your livelihood or your savings account. How far does it go? Does it go to stocks and bonds? How much can they freeze? Is this only in New York? Can they do it in Virginia, Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, New Jersey, Delaware, Michigan, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania? Can they do it there too? Do you know? Do you have any idea? My question is, how in the peanut butter and jelly do Wells Fargo do this? And what I'm understanding with my limited knowledge is that New York has a law where anybody can go petition the court for conservatorship. So I'm not sure if that's even correct. But what I have done, I have posted 2 videos. One is from an attorney, and she's discussing her outrage, just like I'm venting here. She's discussing hers. And one from Fat Joe, because he was the only other person I seen bring up this issue. And I was so impressed that although he's had conflict with Wendy Williams, he could bring up the issue. Hey, how did Wells Fargo do this to her? We need to look at this, people. It's sometimes the gossip is okay, but we got to get past that. We got to get behind what the gossip and say, hey, hold on. I see all the smoke screen you got here about, oh, she's sick, and I see all that. But my concern is, how did Wells Fargo do this? So I think that and I'm advising you, and I'm suggesting that you get with whomever you got to get with and research and make sure this cannot be done to you. Because if you're saving your funds and you're trying to find a way to help your grandchild, so when your grandchild gets to become a certain age, they can have access to some funds, or your son or your daughter, niece, nephew, anyone that you have, that you love, that you want to have access to your funds, then you need to make sure they can get access. And at this point, what I'm hearing is the only way they can have it is if everything you have is in a trust, or if they're on your account. So if they're a partner on your account, then I don't think Wells Fargo could have done this. So I guess you have to put your children on your account to make sure that they have access to your funds if something happens to you. I think this is ridiculous. I think it's horrible. I don't think banks need this much power. And for some reason, we just are not into that. We're into all the gossip. We're into, oh my God, did you hear she's sick? We're into all of that, which doesn't move the needle on my life at all. But we're into all that. But we're not into the background to this. We're not asking questions about what happened. How did Wells Fargo do this? Those are the questions we need to ask. And the sad part is the people who probably lent her money or loaned her money when she was trying to make it, now these people don't have access to funds to even help her if they would like to. So as I go through this, I'm a little ticked. That's my personality. I'm like, what? It's like cancer is killing us, but we don't care. Just who told a rotten joke? We don't care about nothing important. We just don't care. Maybe we overwhelmed. Maybe we so overwhelmed with the gossip is what keeps us going. I don't know. But I'm going to suggest, I'm just making a suggestion that you find out in your community, as I would be finding out from my bank, how this happened. And I want some documentation showing that they can do this to me. And as I said, I know what it feels like to have your bank account frozen. But I don't know what it feels like for them to freeze it and go get a conservatorship and take your money. And I don't care what they're saying. In other words, they are controlling her assets that she's worked for all her life. That if she wanted to give every bit of it to her son, that's her right, because she's the one that worked and paid the price for it. She's the one that took all of the pain that came with trying to become who she is today. She has done it, so they have no rights to me. But that's New York. And I'm not in New York. So evidently in New York, they do have rights. Thank you for listening to me vent. Please, I'm begging, if anyone know how this works, get a podcast, get on, educate us. We need help. Stop talking about all this foolishness and tell us how Wells Fargo was able to do this. Thank you and have a great, great Sunday. And stop falling for the hype. Pay attention to the background, to the foreground. Have a good Sunday.